All right, let's talk about a trick to be able to identify if you have 1, 2, or no triangles when you are given the ambiguous case. That is going to be side-side angle. And yes, I'm not going to write it the other way. Ha ha ha. So the first thing I always like to do, if I'm given just the information, or maybe I'm given a picture of a triangle, I always draw the triangle the exact same way. I don't know why that works for me. It just helps me visualize and remember all the different cases and what to look for. Okay, so I always start with the angle in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know, and I always like to label that A. So therefore, this is going to be little a, and then therefore this is going to be C. That'd be like big C, and this would be your angle B, and this will be your little b, the side. Okay, so here's our oblique triangle, right? We're given one angle, side, side. So the reason why I like it this way is, I don't know, it just helps me visualize that, okay, what we need to understand to be able to quickly identify this little trick with identifying the ambiguous case without doing the law of sines and trying to remember those types of the rules within the law of sines is to understand we need to be able to find the height, okay? Now actually the height, we can draw actually a nice little dotted line here, all right? So we have a nice little dotted line. That is going to be a right angle. So technically what we have here is a little right triangle. So let's go ahead and redraw that right triangle. We're going to call that the height. We know here the 257 is the hypotenuse, and therefore we have 65 degrees. Now we're going to look at is, well, how can we find height? So if you remember, when we have a right triangle and we're given an angle and one side length, we can use our trigonometric functions. So hopefully you recognize if we have the opposite of our angle and the hypotenuse, we can use the sine function. So therefore I can write this equation, sine of 65 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse, h over a 257. Therefore, my h is going to equal to, multiply 257 on both sides, 257 times the sine of 65 degrees. Now, what I was talking about before is I calculated this, but then I accidentally deleted it. So make sure your calculator's in degree mode and do 257 times the sine of 65 degrees, and that gives me a 232.92. And we'll just leave that truncated right there. So what can we do with that information? How can we understand that information to be able to identify what types of triangles we're going to have? So the first thing that I want you to recognize is if this opposite side, A, is equal to the height of the triangle, then obviously you have a right triangle, right? So it's going to be one right triangle. Angle. Can't spell triangle for some reason. Now let's go and take a look at, well, when else would we have one triangle? So remember, if we have angle side side, okay, treat this as a hinge, okay? This can sway either way like this. Whenever our A is larger than our C, forget about anything else. But when A, which is opposite of the angle you are provided, is larger than C, so A is larger than C, you also have one triangle. And the reason why is because, let's pretend it's like this big. Okay, well, you could sway that, right? So it could be from here, over here. It's never going to make a triangle. It's only going to make a triangle at that one point, right? Because this length, this side length B could be extended all that far, but it's only going to make one triangle in that regard. So what happens when we have no triangle? Well, what if this side length in this A was shorter than your height? That's why it's always so important to find what your height is, because if your opposite side of your angle is less than your height, so therefore A is going to be less than H, you have no triangle, right? That would be an example like this, right? You can see if this was like really, really short, it's never gonna make a triangle, right? Even if it was like right there, it'd be short of the height. So it's never gonna make a triangle. And then we have our famous two cases. Well, that is going to be when my A is gonna be larger than my H, so therefore H is going to be less than my A, but my A is gonna be smaller than my C. So A is going to be less than C. Because obviously if we have it somewhere here, let's say it's like right there, you could do that case or a case here, or you could sway it there and then do that case. You would have two triangles with the length of those two sides being exactly the same. So this is what you're really gonna want to remember. You're gonna want to remember how to find that the sine, or I'm sorry, H is equal to going to be, what is it, your C times your sine of angle A. So remember that. And the cool thing about this trick is a lot of times you don't even need to know this. Sometimes just by looking at A and C, or if you know what they are, you can be able to identify if it's one triangle or not. And if it's not, then you can go and further examine, oh, maybe it's a no triangle or it's a two triangle case. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I always like to tell students about the law of signs after we have initially learned how to apply the law of signs and the ambiguous case. But this trick makes things go by so much faster. It takes a little practice. And if you need practice with doing the law of signs or the ambiguous case, then check out the next video I have for you here. Cheers.